Baby. Yeah. Holy cow.
How you doing, folks? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report for a Thursday. It is Thursday, September 14th. Hope you're having yourself a good start to your Thirsty Thursdays. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right hand corner, or hit the subscribe button below this video if you're using a mobile device. Today's podcast is brought to you by the Raymond Report. You can get the Raymond Report each and every day right here at atsstats.com, and also it's brought to you by the atscalculator.com. Check out the analytics today at atscalculator.com, and what you want to do is go to the website, go to NFL, college football, NBA, NHL, CFL, Major League Baseball, put in the home and road team, calculate the ATS analytics, and it'll tell you what the line should be on that game, the over-under, and you can get it today at atscalculator.com. And don't forget my new book, The 24-Hour Rule, which I'll be talking about just more about in just a few minutes. You can get the book today at amazon.com or .ca, and you can order your copy through the website. Go to atsstats.com or Amazon, and if you go to the website, go to 24-Hour Rule, click on order your copy here, and you can get the 24-Hour Rule right here at amazon.com or .ca. All right, good morning, good afternoon, and good night wherever you're located on the World Wide Web. My name is Ron Raymond, a 5-time sports handicapping champion based out of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and it is a 14 degrees, a little bit of an overcast day here in the nation's capital. Not too bad. It's good football weather, good practice weather tonight, and hopefully you guys had a better night than the Toronto Blue Jays. And you know what? I got to give credit to my godson here last night. He made a great point talking about the Blue Jays. He said, you know what? Vladdy Guerrero, the home run derby, got another one. I think he's onto something there. I think Vladdy Guerrero in that home run derby last night is anybody who goes in that home run derby the last, say, 5-7 years, man, they just seem to just, it drains them. It just absolutely drains them for the remainder of the year. So yeah, I don't know what's going on. So maybe it's a little a precursor to all the home run hitters out there. Maybe you don't want to do the home run contest because another victim here, Vladdy Guerrero. I think, you know, he's just, since the All-Star break, and then the home run contest just hasn't been the same thing, right? So maybe he's onto something right there. All right, got a good show lined up for you guys here today, and we're going to talk a little bit more about college football and also Major League Baseball. We're going to do a rundown. I'm going to give you guys the forecast of all the college football games here today, and I also going to go into detail of the Raymond Report. I've been working on that this morning, and I really want to, with football here and situational handicapping, I got some really interesting numbers that you're going to want to stay tuned for, because it's going to maybe change the way you approach NFL week number 2. But before we get into that, well, you know the rules. Let's go feed the ponies. Good morning, Scotty. All right, get him in, get him out. Yeah, they're off and running today at Churchill Downs, and if you look at Churchill Downs in race number 1, it's a 5 p.m. post time, $30,000 claiming race today at Churchill Downs, and we are going to go with the number 7 horse, and it's a 7 furlongs on the dirt. Star Nation going to ride the 7, or actually W.A. Rodriguez going to ride the number 7, who's 12-1 morning line on the 7 horse Star Nation. Number 8, Judo, with Michelle taking a ride on Judo, number 8 horse, 8-1 morning line. Wow, wow, big lines here at Churchill Downs in race number 1. And the number 4 horse with inexorable C.A. Torres taking a ride on the number 4 horse, 3-1 morning line on Inexorable. And you want to bet those horses today, 7-8-4 today in race number 1 at Churchill Downs. And your value play of the day, your number 3 horse, Dual Monarchy with Tyler Gaffalione on the ride here on number 3, Dual Monarchy, and 5-2 morning line. Man, we got some really hard numbers, hard names here this morning. Eh? Inexorable, you got to say that real quick when you're just tuning in on the horse racing. I'm scared to look at the other track, the other horse's name here. Look at this, Moha Feet. Yeah, we got some tough names. But you know what? The thing I love about the horse racing industry, they got some good sense of humor. My favorite all time is Tickle Bunny, right? Tickle Bunny is my all time favorite. I remember that morning I came on the show and I said Tickle Bunny. I think I laughed for like 10 minutes. I couldn't stop laughing. All right, so there you go. There's your horse racing picks today at Churchill Downs. 7-8, 8-4, 4-3 exacta box in race number 1. And if you're going to play trifecta, 7-8-4, 3-8-4 trifecta box. Always remember to box those horses. I like Tyler Gaffalione here on the 3, Dual Monarchy. I'm going to put 10 to win, 10 to place on the 3 horse at 5-2 morning line. And let's see if we can cash you a ticket today, courtesy of the Raymond Report. And again, you can get the tip sheet for all the races today at all the tracks. Go to Horses Premium Tip Sheets, and then you got all the racetracks here for our horse racing fans. And yeah, one thing, I'm a big horse racing guy. I love horse racing. I'm not going to say I'm like a DRF type of guy. Like I'm not one of those guys that lives at the track, but I'm a recreational horse racing fan. Let's put it that way. But you can get the racing premium tip sheet here at atsstats.com. All right, happy racing, everybody. And again, if you're tuning into the Raymond Report, my name is Ron Raymond. And about 7-8 years ago, I created what's known as the Raymond Report. And you know what? I said, maybe today's the day, NFL week number 2. Let's get into the Raymond Report. Let's talk about sports betting. And the one thing you guys know, I'm here to educate. And if you go to the website, atsstats.com, I do have a learning section. We have the 24-hour rule, which is my book. I got 2 books, but that's the latest one I wrote. Sports Betting 101, Mastering Sports Betting. This is a 12-part series on how to master sports betting. Beginner's mistakes, you want to really check that out if you're new to sports betting. Avoid beginner's mistake. Go to the Learn tab, and then you get all these resources to help you with your sports handicapping. But today, I worked a couple of hours this morning on the Raymond Report. And it's always good to go back to your fundamentals, right? And I see who's Mizzou's in the house. Let's get it. Show me the pearls, baby. Yeah, baby, eh? Yeah, where's my showing the pearls?
Yeah, baby.
All right, we'll get. But yeah, so the pearls, what who's Mizzou is referring to is knowledge, right? Anytime you watch the show, my goal is to really share the knowledge that I've had. Can't believe it's my 27th year in the circuit. 27 years handicapping. You guys might remember my first website. In fact, I had an email this a couple days ago asking me about my first site, phoenixsports.com. Remember the PST? Yeah, that's man. If you go to archive.org or those old those back in time websites, go to phoenixsports.com. I was one of the first guys, along with Brian Georgia. Remember Bettor's World? And then there was the shrink at the prescription. There was all the Vegas Insider was there. Man, I think we've done a couple of shows of going back, but it's always good to reminisce because I see all these new sites out there. And the thing that's really discouraging for me is that everybody tends to forget the OGs, right? The people who really started this industry. And there's really, to me, it's like we're the Rodney Dangerfields of sports betting. Mark Lawrence, Phil Steele, all those guys. Those are the true guys who started this industry. And when I see all these, these sports book come in and like elbow their way through and just showing no respect, it's just disheartening sometimes. Anyways, let's talk about the Raymond Report, the fundamentals about value, percentage play, performance cycles, player availability, and money management system. Now, the first thing you need to determine is what kind of investor are you? Are you an instant gratification investor, short term? You just want to bet now and you don't really care what the outcome is, or are you a savvy investor, right? And that's the difference between being a gambler and an investor. If you're a gambler, you're really not. You're just throwing dices, throwing the dart. But if you're an investor, you're doing the work, right? Hey, it's what does Bill Belichick say all the time? Do your job, right? And if you're a sports betting investor, you got to do your job and you got to look into the key principles principles of the Raymond Report. You hear me say it all the time when I do these videos. Shop for value, play the percentages. And you know, if I should trademark that, right? Shop for value, play the percentages. Because when you look at sports betting, that's the key principles of betting. You know, am I getting a good line? And is the percentage play in my favor? That's the bottom line, right? Stone Cold, where's my Stone Cold?
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Yeah, shop for value, play those percentages, and the 5 golden rules of the Raymond Report, and these are pretty good rules to live by. Always remember, the sports books aren't your friends, you know? They are not your friends. Always remember that. When you're betting with a sports book, the only thing they really care about is your money. And it's business. Unfortunately, in business, it can be cruel at times, but that's the bottom line. It says when you're in business, it's about the money, right? No one wants to lose money, and the sports book and casinos, their job is to make money, and your job is to make money. It's you against them, right? And like Mike Tyson says all the time, everybody has a plan till they get punched in the mouth, right? So what you want to do is you want to punch them in the mouth, because you got to go get your money, right? Also, rule number 2, less is more. Always remember that. If you, especially on a college football Saturday, right? There's 150 games going. Always remember, less is more, and you can never go wrong with that philosophy. Understand the A, B's, and C's of the Raymond Report, and where's my...
These are the ABCs of me, baby!
Yeah, these are the ABCs. A-type teams in the Raymond Report, those are teams with a 60 or higher win percentage. B-type teams, those are teams with a 50 to 59.9. And C-type teams, those are teams with the 49.9 or lower win percentage. Those are the ABCs. And when you look at the standings, those are the 3 tiers in the, sometimes there's 4 tiers. Like sometimes you get a really, really bad team. And, but normally, ABCs, those 60 or higher, which is normally like, you know, in fact, let me bring it up for you right now. Let me go to my dial. We'll do baseball, since baseball is full throttle right now. So let's go to the market index, and then I'll probably take a few seconds to load up. So I'll probably go back to the rules of sports betting. Let me see there. Little lagging this morning here. All right, let's go to Major League Baseball. And while that is going up, so A-type teams, 60 or higher. Now, those teams, the teams with a 60 or higher win percentage, you got to understand those type of teams, they normally come with a high price tag, right? They're good for a reason, and they come with high confidence, lower returns, but you're probably laying like 250, 300, and to win 100, right? If you go by 11-10 rule. Second tier teams, those are teams where you can make your money. The 50 to 59.9% team, and if you look at the Raymond Report, so the A-type teams, there's only 4 of them. Think about that. Major League Baseball, 32 teams, and there's only 4 teams with a 60 or higher win percentage. That's what you call your alphas, right? That's, you know, in Urban Meyer's book, you know, Urban Meyer wrote a book a couple years ago, which I got, and I got the 10-80-10 rule from. 10% of your football team will be elite, 80% will be average, and 10% will be disinterested, right? So you look at the standings, these are your 10%ers right now. Atlanta, Baltimore, Dodgers, Tampa Bay, those are your top dogs right now in Major League Baseball. The B-type teams with a 50 to 59.9 win percentage. You're talking about Milwaukee, Houston, Texas, Seattle, Toronto, Philadelphia, Cubbies, Twins, D-backs, Cincinnati, Miami, San Francisco, Yankees, and Boston. Those are your B-type teams. Those are teams where you can really, when they're in a neutral cycle, you can make some money with those teams. Teams that you see in pink, those are your bearish teams. You want to lay away from them. And then in rule number C, the third type of team in the sports, in the standings, are your C-type teams, right? Like an old high school sweetheart, you know they're going to break your heart. Those are teams with losing records. You want to try to avoid them, not at all costs, because you can pick your spots with those C-type teams, right? Now, the rule number 4 of the Raymond Report: avoid betting on teams in a bearish cycle. So you want to avoid teams, especially so in sports. You got your NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball with high volume games, right? So the cycle for those are 7 games. Now, football is different because you don't play 160 games in football. If you did, you're crazy, or it's 7-on-7. But those are 3-game cycles. But for the purpose of this demonstration, bearish cycles mean teams are 0-7, 1-6, and 2-5 in their last 7 games. those are teams that you really want them to work out their kinks, and you don't bet on those teams until they get those hiccups fixed, right? Maintain a disciplined money management system. I'll show you a chart in just a few minutes. I do have a money management system. That's one thing that a lot of sports bettors and handicappers, and if you've watched the Raymond Report, I make a conscious effort each and every day to talk about money management, because at the end of the day, what are you doing? You're betting money. And if you don't have a game plan with your money, it's like the same thing when you're investing in stocks or property. You're going to do your investment, right? You're going to do your research before investing. It's the same thing in sports betting. You got to treat $5 like it's $500. That's the mindset and the tip I give you right there, right? When you talk about money management, always remember, treat a $5 wager like it's a $500 wager, because if you don't, then you're just throwing your money away, right? All right, so those are the 5 key fundamentals that the golden rules that I talk about all the time. Now, I do have some tips for you guys, and avoid betting on C-type teams in the Raymond Report. If you do, like I said, pick your spots. Number 2 tip for you guys, buying the Geico insurance. Remember, I talk about this on the show all the time. I don't lay points. I'll take the points, and I'll try to bet the money line, right? And it's funny. I've been saying this for like 5 years now on this show. Now you're starting to hear it all everywhere. And sports books are coming on, these handicapping shows. Yeah, we're kind of noticing people are not laying points anymore. Yeah, no kidding, because they know their percentage is way much better if they check the money line or take the points or go with the over-under, right? Do not wager on baseball doubleheaders. Too much going on that day. I think I got that tip from a good friend, Dave Koken. Dave Koken, he said this many, many years ago, and I believe in it 100%. And he says, don't bet doubleheaders. Doubleheaders, too much going on that day. And it's so true, because think of it, right? In game number 1, let's say your pitcher gets rocked in the second inning there, and then the bullpen, say the night before, pitched like 4 or 5 bullpen arms came in, and now you got to go early in your bullpen. It's just a nightmare for the managers. And next thing you know, you got the right fielder pitching, right? How many times have you seen a game where it's 18-2 and then there's the right fielder on the mound, right? How many times have you seen that? All right, follow a strict money management system. I'll show you the chart in just 1 second. Never force a bet for the sake of playing. Bet with your wallet, not your heart, right? Always remember that. Bet with your wallet. Don't bet your favorite teams. I get it. You want to bet the Buffalo Bills. That's my team. Yeah. Don't bet those guys too often, because they're always a favorite. And they'll break your heart. But yeah, never force a bet because there's a game on, right? Do your research. Again, treat $5 like it's $500. Bet rationally, not emotionally. Make informed research decisions when you are making your bet, right? You don't want to make bets on a whim. How many times you can probably put your hand up. How many times you walk in the house, there's 10 minutes before game time, and you say, "Oh, I forgot about the game," and you go to your book and then your bet, and then you're placing a bet blind, right? You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be placing your bet blind. You're trying to beat the bookmaker. This is a very important one here. Rule number 7 in the one of my tips. You're trying to beat the bookmakers, not a certain team. Yeah, there's 2 teams on the field, but you're not trying to beat the Buffalo Bills. You're not trying to beat the New York Jets. You're not trying to beat the San Francisco Giants or 49ers. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to beat the number, right? It's your number against the bookmaker's number, and this is why I say all the time, make your number. Have a number, beat to beat the bookmaker's number, and that's the goal of sports betting, right? You got to have a number, have your number better than the bookmaker's number, but find a way in a system to get to create your number, right? And one of the things I use is the ATS calculator, or I use some of the forecasts or some of the tools I have here at atsstats.com. Rule number 8, or tip number 8, avoid betting A-type teams in an upward trend at home. Now, I got this last year when I was talking to you guys about the Atlanta Braves, and the Atlanta Braves at home last year. I can't remember what month it was. I think they went on a crazy run. I think it was month of August. And you want to try avoid betting on those A-type teams at home when they're on an upward trend. We're in a bullish cycle, right? And I'm going to give you. So this morning I said, you know what? Let's talk about the roles of handicapping, right? and just making sure you guys are still with me on the show. I know sometimes I can get Ron's rant and you guys are, what the hell?
What the hell is that?
Yeah, I get on these rants, but I think some days I love to get into it because we kind of forget our fundamentals of sports handicapping, right? So if you're out there, give me a thumbs up or give me yeah, we're still here, coach, and let us know you're there. Hey, let them know you're there, like a good Slapshot movie. But here's the thing. In sports betting, there's 4 roles that I talk about. I talk about home favorites, I talk about home underdogs, I talk about road favorites, and I talk about road underdogs. So what I did this morning, I said, you know what? Week number 2, the underdogs absolutely crushed it last week. So let's go back into the roles of sports betting, and let's go back to 3 years. And what I did is I left out 2020. 2020 was really the year when the pandemic hit, but I went pre-pandemic, 2019, and then I went 2021, 2022. All right. So what we did is I took the roles of the home favorites, the home underdogs, the road favorites, the road underdogs. Now I averaged it out. And for the last 3 years, now going back the last 3, or actually 4 years, I'm not counting 2020. So maybe 3 seasons, right? 2022, 2021, and 2019. And you know what? I bet you if I bring up the 2020 season, the numbers will be right in the same ballpark. Home favorites, the last 3 years against the point spread. Actually, let me start this with straight up. Win 65% of their games straight up, but check this out. They only cover 46%. Think about this. Now, think of the roles, right? Think of the comfort level, the market psychology. How do you feel when you're betting a home favorite? It's the best feeling for a sports bettor because you're saying, hey, we're at home and we're the favorite. So we got, it's like the good Meatloaf song, right? 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So, you got the home favorite and you got the home advantage, right? You got your fans with you. But you know what? Sure, you win 65% of your games, but you're only covering 46.6. You don't think the bookmakers know that? You don't think the bookmaker knows that comfort level, that market psychology that the bookmakers are doing? They know what they're doing, right? Home underdogs, a little bit not as good. 35.6% winning straight up, but they cover 51.3% of their games. Road favorites, 65% winning straight up, and they only cover 50%, which is a little bit better than the home favorites of about close. If you round it off, that's what, 3.4%. And then road underdogs, 34.3, and then they're the best one to cover, 53.6. Now, of all these 4 roles, which one do you least want to bet, right? The road underdogs. You're on the road, you don't have your fans, and to make matters worse, you're the underdog, right? So you're not at home, you're the underdog. It's the worst, it's the worst role to be in, but from a betting perspective, it's the best one there. And the bookmakers know that, right? So when you're betting into the situational handicapping, always remember, the warm and fuzzies, yeah, the home and favorites, right? They win 65%. In fact, favorites in general, road or home, win 65% of their games, and underdogs only win 35% of their games. And if you look at the point spread factor, you can see that 46% for favorites at home, 51 for the home underdogs, 50 for the road favorites, and 53, which is in the goal of the bookmakers, what? You get 100 people in the room, you get 50 betting one favorite, 50 betting the underdogs, then, they make their money, right? So they've done a really good job trying to get to that 50 mark, right? That's the objective of the bookmaker. They're trying to get from the point spread point of view. And here's the thing. Bookmakers cannot control this column right here. The straight up factor, they can't control that. You know why? Because who knows who's going to win, right? It's just, there's no adjustments. There's no equalizer. This is the column here. This is where the bookmakers can massage the line, right? This is the equalizer against the point spread. Now they can balance the books this way. They can't balance the books on the money line. The only thing they can do on a straight up factor is discourage you from betting the money line by putting, like, say, Ohio State minus 10,000 against Wolford or something like that, right? That's the only way they can discourage you. But who's going to put 10 grand to win 100? Maybe Mattress Matt or something, I don't know, Mac or something, I don't know. Look at the home favorites. Yeah, so road underdogs and home underdogs, 50%. And I did the math in week number 1 of the NFL. And here's the thing: if you're going into week number 2, just settle down. Settle down. Don't get all discouraged if you didn't have a good week. Just remember this. Home favorites last weekend won 36% of their game. The average is 65%. So what does that tell you? Stick around. It's gonna come back, right? And they only covered 18%. So maybe home favorites the next 2 weeks is something you want to consider when you're doing your handicapping, right? Road underdogs. So looking at home underdogs last weekend, 40%, only 5 games, 2 and 3, and they covered the same thing, right? 2 and 3 straight up and against the point spread. Road favorites, 3 and 2, same thing, but road underdogs, that least comfortable favorite we talked about, right? Road underdogs, you don't get the same vibe that you do as a home favorite, right? But look at that, road underdogs, 82% last week. On average, the last 3 years, they cover 53.6%. So be careful playing with fire, because you know what happens, right? You can get burnt. So going into week number 2, don't fall in the road underdog trap. Yeah, it could go another week, maybe another week, 2, 3. I doubt it. But what goes up must come down. And I'm going to be looking at more favorites the next 2 weeks betting NFL. And the bookmakers know that, right? Because at the end of the day, proof's in the pudding. And the proof tells me that favorites won 65% of the games. They only cover around 48%, close to that 50 mark. And for the underdogs, well, they only win 35% of their games, but they cover around the 50% mark. So always remember that when you're betting the NFL. It's the greatest sport to bet on because you know what? People talk about, why is NFL the best? You know why it's the best? Because you get a week break in between. Nobody wants to bet every day. If they do, well, they might have to call Fraser Crane or something, right? Because, you need research, you need time. And, if you think about this, if you're betting every day, if you're winning, you're happy, right? If you're losing, imagine you bet every day and you lose every day, how miserable you're going to be and broke, right? If you're going to be broke, well, must be broke once a week, not every day. Or get rich once a week, right? But at the end of the day, what do we want to do? We want to punch our bookmaker in the mouth, right, Mike?
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Boom. All right, there you go. So I talked about the rolls, and I'll update that every week. And you still do these videos. All right, Demarius says, you still do these videos. Yeah, no, we're on Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays now during the NFL season. And Gil the Thrill Melendez will join us tomorrow. All right, so tip number 9, apply the 24-hour rule, rest a day after a major win. That's in my book. And again, if you get the book here, you go to learn 24-hour rule. And then if you just click on that banner, it's going to take you to Amazon and you can get the book today, the 24-hour rule. Embracing patience and discipline in sports betting. And remember, celebrate your victories. The one thing you don't do enough of is when you win a major parlay or a big bet. Let's say you made a big hit, right? You got a nice day. You don't want to give it back the next day. Take 24 hours off. It's like I say in football all the time to our team, right? It's like, you know what? When you win a football game and you're prepared all week, and it's like any team, any sport, right? Especially in football, you prepare all week in practice. You're getting better. You get to game day. You go out there and you win the game. Enjoy the next 24 hours because you never know when you're going to get that next win, right? It's the same rules, and apply that to sports betting. And number 10, avoid wagering on teams in a bear cycle. Let them work out their losing streak. Yeah, when a team's on a losing streak, misery loves company, right? You don't want to add to that. So let them work out their kinks and find other things to bet on. All right, the money management chart I was talking to you guys about, here it is. And I talk about the ABCs of sports betting. Now, the A-type teams, so those teams we talked about, these teams up here in baseball, we're talking about Atlanta, Baltimore, LA, Tampa Bay. Those teams, you know what? Winners win, right? And Bill Parcells says it all the time. You are what your record says you are. And if you're a good team, you're going to win. And the thing is, would you rather put your money on a good team that keeps winning, or do you want to put it on a team that loses, right? You don't need to be a rocket scientist to know that. Winners win. Support winners, and it's just shop for value, play the percentages, right? Go back to your principles. Look for value, play the percentages. Now, on away teams, so if a team is bullish, now the thing with bullish teams that are 7-0, 6-1, 5-2 in their last 7 games, that's not going to continue forever. So I recommend one unit. Away teams that are neutral, 3-4, 4-3, because they're an A-type team, the percentage play is going to be better in your favor. Bet 4 units. And bearish teams, don't even touch them. Don't even touch those bearish teams. And here's a good chart for you guys to understand the big picture, right? So think about this. Let's say we're taking $5 and we're betting $5 on 20 games. If you bet $5 on 20 games and you hit 40%, you're down $55. If you bet $5 on 20 games and you hit 50%, guess what? You did all that and you're still down $5. You're not even a loser, but you're not a winner at 50%, but you're still down $5. Now, if you have 20 bets and you put $5 on 20 bets and you won 11 of those bets, you won 55%, you're up $5.50. And if you bet 20 games and you won 60% of those bets, you're up $16. So you see how hard it is to make money in sports betting? Imagine that. You bet 50 games, 20 games, you won 10 and you're still down $5. Or, you bet 20 games, you win 11 of those and you're only up $5, right? That's a lot of sweating for $5. Anyways, little perspective about betting into sports betting. This is why I talk about beer and pizza money and investing. And again, going back to the Raymond Report, let's go back to the key fundamentals. What type of investor are you? Are you an instant gratification, a short-term investor, or are you a savvy investor and you play the long game, right? If you play the long game, pick your spots on the units you want to play. And then if you're, and the thing too with a savvy investor, long-term player, you can bet beer and pizza money to keep that, to scratch that itch. But once you see your spot, pounce on it, right? It's all about situational handicapping and the window. Nobody says in sports betting the window to make money is 1 week, right? I say it all the time I talk or I write articles. Who says you got to make the big your jackpot in a 7-day window, a 3-day window? Maybe it's a 30-day window. Maybe some days you take days off. You got to pick. It's like I say all the time, when you're buying stocks, you're not buying stocks every day. You're not buying property every day. You got to pick your spots when you're investing and keep things in perspective and why you're doing things, right? You're doing it for the entertainment. Sports betting is entertainment for about 80% of or 90% of the betting public. That other 10%, they're the sharps. They're the people trying to make, keep it going. And you know what? Here's the thing. Hate to break it to you, but the sportsbook needs those guys. The sportsbook needs those 10% whales because that's, they're putting a lot of money to keep the floats going, right? So always remember the golden rules of sports betting. And I know I just talked about 30 minutes on investing, but this is what I do. This is what for 27 years I've been doing this. And as a football coach, I'm all about education. That's the one thing in sports or in life is if you're not learning, you're going backwards, right? So, and you don't want to do the same mistake twice. All right, so that is the fundamentals. Go to the Raymond Report or atsstats.com. Go to learn. Go to Raymond Report system, and it's a more detailed tip sheet. And again, knowledge is power, and the more knowledge we give you, the more power you have, and hopefully the more money you will make. All right, let's get to the SBI, the Sports Betting Index. And yesterday in Major League Baseball, pretty much a wow, look at that. Where's my Norm Peterson
It's a dog-eat-dog world, Sammy, and I'm wearing milk-bone underwear.
Wow, look at that. Milk-bone underwear for the run line bettors in baseball. 11-3. Maybe that's why we had a great day yesterday in baseball. I went 4-0 with our selections. I went 3-0 in my baseball pick pack with your membership. And our dog of the day, man, I'll tell you, it was an easy winner. Texas over Toronto. All right, so yeah, pretty good day in the Major League Baseball. And you can see on the 7-day average, 54% of the favorites. Wow. Hey. It goes against my theory. Remember I said it's after the trade deadline, All-Star break, you'll see more favorites come in. This is a different year for sure. But look at the underdog, 62.9, the 7-day average. And going back to a tip number, was it number 3 or 4 right here? The Geico Insurance. You bet the money line or take the points. Take the points in Major League Baseball, and you'll be smiling like a butcher's dog if you did, because you're 21-10 the last 2 days betting this. All right, value report. So if you go to the Raymond report and you go to your dashboard, so what you want to do is you go, and here's another thing. If people are watching online or you're a member of ATS and you're saying, Ron, man, I'm logged in, but I don't see this dashboard menu sometimes. Refresh the page, it'll come up. The cache issue sometimes plays tricks on people, right? Or maybe what I'll do is I'll put a dashboard button on the front page. All right, so once you go to your dashboard, and then you want to look, see if you have a value, right? When we talk about the tip right here, we talk about the principles, value, percentage play. Well, look for value in college football. Now, I'm a big believer in the strength of schedule. So let's say, a team like Clemson's playing Florida State. Those are, two good programs, right? And the bookmaker puts their line out. What you want to do is find out if they're an A, B, or C type team. And then when you go to home, so click on favorites, find out who the favorite is. And if, say, Clemson, I'm just, using an example here. I know they're not playing this weekend, but let's say Clemson is at home against Florida State, 2 A-type teams. So when Clemson's at home against those A-type teams, the average line is minus 10.6 in the last 10 occurrences. So when Clemson's at home against A-type teams with a 60 or higher win percentage, the average line for Clemson is minus 10.6, and then you want to do the same thing for the underdog. Florida State is 4. So you go, and whatever the line is, that's how you're going to know if you got value into that line, right? So that is how you use the value report. All right, let's go to Major League Baseball today. We got short card today. So I'm going to give you guys the forecast, and hopefully I got enough voice left to give you guys the college football. I can feel my voice getting a little bit raspy here, so hopefully I can. Hopefully it stays out the whole way. All right, we got Washington taking on the Bucks. And we do have Pittsburgh here winning 4.6 to 4.04. The over-under at 8.69. So we do have this game going over the total. Pittsburgh coming in on a 2-game win streak. Mitch Keller up against Josiah Gray. First pitch today at PNC Park, 12:35 Eastern. All right, you got Ben Lively taking on Reese Olson today. I did have Cincinnati as one of my top plays yesterday. And cha-ching, we got that. Right, Randy?
Straight cash, homie. Straight
cash, we got it. All right, 4.7 to 4.1, the over-under at 8.88, eh? 8.88. Is that lucky? Is that lucky numbers? Yeah, I thought 888 or 777 were lucky. All right, 51.7% chance of winning here for Cincinnati. And, maybe they want to play Detroit the rest of the year. Okay, here's your doubleheader play, right? And you know the rules in the top tips. What's Ron's one of his rules? We don't bet on doubleheaders, right? Right there. Rule number 3, we don't bet on double headers. Today, you got the Yankees taking on the Bo Sox in game number 1. We got Boston with Tanner Huck going up against Michael King, 5 to 4.8. The over-under at 9.89. In game number 2, we have the Yankees with Clark Schmidt over Garrett Whitlock from the Boston Red Sox, 5.1 to 4.7. And those are your doubleheader picks today. All right, let's get to a game between the Miami Marlins and the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, the Brew Crew losing 2-0 last night to the Marlins. Today, they're going to send Adrian Hauser to the hill against Yuri Perez of the Miami Marlins, and we're going to lean with the Marlins in this one. 4.1 to 3.9, the over-under at 8.03. So we do have this game going over the total, and the last 2 games for both these teams have gone under the total. Arizona Diamondbacks taking on the New York Mets. Mets winning big last night. 7-1 was the final. Today, Kodai Senga going up against Merrill Kelly. It sounds like a law firm. Merrill Kelly and Kelly. So Merrill Kelly going here for the D-backs. And we're going to lean with, look at the tight one here. 3.74 for New York. 3.71 for the D-backs. And Arizona now on a 2-game losing streak. Maybe Arizona plus the points on the run line might be worth a look. In fact, let me see what the line is on that. If Arizona, if they're still the favorite or the underdog, I doubt to be. Let me see here. Arizona. Yeah, you're getting plus money, but minus 202. But you're getting that Geico insurance. I do like Arizona. I'm looking at a 4-3 type game here today at Citi Field. Tampa Bay, an A-type team, taking on another A-type team. Hey, there's your American League East showdown right there. Baltimore taking on the Rays. Kyle Bradish going up against Aaron Savali of the Tampa Bay Rays. And we got 4.1 to 3.9, the over-under, landing on 8.05. So we do have this game going over the total. And the last 2 games for the O's have gone under. They are 7-3 straight up in the last 10. Same thing for Tampa Bay. They're off a 5-4 win over Minnesota. And Baltimore, maybe looking ahead last night to this one here because they lost 1-0, and we did like St. Louis as one of our plays. All right, Toronto Blue Jays, yeah, we talked about that. Blue Jays struggling big time. Minus 165 is the line. You got Kevin Gossman going up against Nathan Eovaldi for the Texas Rangers, and we do have the Blue Jays winning here on the computer pick, 4.6 to 3.7, the over-under at 8.42. And you know what? Texas is just smashing the ball right now. I think Texas is the play here today. Chicago White Sox taking on the Twinkies. Minnesota going into this one off a 5-4 loss last night to Tampa Bay. And for the Chi Sox, they lost to the Royals. 7-1 was the final. Jose Urena going today for Chicago. Kenta Maeda for the Minnesota Twins. And we do like the Twinkies in this one. 5.6 to 4.3, the over-under landing on 10. And your final game of the Thursday night, Thirsty Thursdays, I'm starting to get thirsty here, is minus 250 for Logan Webb against Chase Anderson at Coors. Totals 10.5, and we do have the Giants winning this one 6.1 to 4.6. The over-under landing on 10.75, and those are your Major League Baseball computer picks today for a Thirsty Thursday. And folks, you can get the Ram Report computer picks each and every day. Go to your dashboard, and again, a membership at ATS Stats is only $4.99 for 7 days, $19.99 for the week, $99 for the year. Go to your computer picks, Major League Baseball, and you will get all the Major League Baseball picks courtesy of your good friends right here at atsstats.com. All right, let's run down the college football. Now, it's going to take a while, so grab a cup of coffee or if you're on the across the pond, maybe a beverage, an adult beverage or something, and sit back, relax, and let's get through this. All right, Memphis taking on the Navy Midshipmen, and we're going to lean with the Tigers tonight. 33-16, the over-under landing on 49.4, and we do like the Tigers to win at an 86.2% chance. And Ron, I will be on 56 on Saturday. Could you look up Kansas State versus Mizzou? Yeah, we're going to get to that one. Army taking on the Roadrunners, UTSA, San Antonio Roadrunners, and they're an 8.5-point favorite. I got the Roadrunners winning 26-17, the over-under at 43.6, and we're going to give UTSA a 70% chance of winning compared to only 15.6 for the Black Knights. Virginia taking on the Terrapins. We got Maryland winning this one 33-16, the over-under landing on 50.39, so we do have it going over the total, and we're going to give the Terps an 87% chance of winning compared to only 11% for the Cavaliers. Utah State taking on Air Force. The Academy here is a 9.5-point favorite. 46.5 is the total. We're going to lean with Air Force in this one, 26-17, the over-under at 43.23, and we're going to give Air Force an 86% chance of winning over the Aggies. Penn State taking on the Illinois fighting Illini. Not a great start of the season that they had last year, losing last Thursday to Kansas 34-23. The Nittany Lions, they are 2-0, and they are 14.5-point road favorite in this one. 30-12 is our final, and we do have the total landing on 42.8, so we do have this game going under the total, and we're only going to give the Illini a 21% chance of winning. All right, Florida State taking on Boston College. We got the Seminoles beating the Eagles right here, 40-14. The over-under at 54.4, so we do have it going over the total, and look at that, 95.8% chance of winning for the Florida State Seminoles. Georgia Southern taking on Wisconsin, and we got the Badgers, a 19.5-point favorite. We got them winning here by 25 points, so 46-21, the over-under landing on 67.52, so we do have it flying over the total, and we're going to give the Badgers a 94% chance of winning. Wisconsin off a 31-22 loss last week, upset loss to Washington State, so we'll see if the Badgers rebounds off that with new head coach Fickle. All right, Louisville taking on the Indiana Hoosiers. We got the Cardinals winning this one 30-20, the over-under landing on 50.4. Liberty taking on the Bulls. We got the Flames beating Buffalo 27-23, the over-under at 51.02. Wake Forest beating Old Dominion 41.8 to 21, the over-under landing on 63.0. 48.8. And looking at the last game, 36-20. Now, sometimes you're going to see in the Raymond report, you'll say, they didn't play them last week. They played like Wolf. We don't, if we only track line games, right? We don't track the the games that the Division 1 games or Division 2, Division 3. So if you're ever wondering why this is not showing last week's game against say Wolford or something like that, is we only keep track of line games. 41-21, and the over-under landing on 63. So we do have it going over the total. Iowa State, big game last week against Iowa. Upset though. Not an upset. They're upset they lost because they lost to their state rival, and it was 2013 was the final. And this weekend they're taking on Ohio, the Bobcats, and we're going to lean with Iowa State here, 25-22. So right on the number of -3, but the over-under to go over the total at 48.5. And let me see here. So we got, there's your game here, Scott. Kansas State taking on the Missouri Tigers. You got the Wildcats, a 4-point favorite. Now, we talked about last week that number, right? That medium risk number. And the over-under is 47.5. We got the Wildcats winning this one, 26-22, the over-under at 49.1. So we do have this game going over the total, and we're going to give Kansas State a 72.5% chance of winning. But here's the big but. If you play the percentages, the percentage play, anytime you get 40% or higher, you really got to consider Missouri here, right? At 53.8% chance of winning. So this is going to be a tough one. I think Kansas State wins, but I think Missouri gets to cover. LSU taking on Mississippi State. We got LSU beating the Bulldogs 33-23, the over-under at 56.8. We got UMass taking on Eastern Michigan. We got the Eagles winning 29-21, the over-under at 51.4. All those MAC teams played all those. The thing with the MAC teams in the first 2 weeks of the schedule, they got to go make their money, right? They got to go play those big programs because that's where they make a lot of their monies for their programs. So you're starting to see a lot of the MAC schools come home this weekend, right? Notre Dame taking on the Chippewas, and you can see the Fighting Irish, man, off to a good start, 2-0. 47-10, the over-under at 58.3. But good start for the Irish. Oklahoma Sooners taking on the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes, and I don't know if it's called the Golden Hurricanes anymore. I know it's Tulsa. 46-14, the over-under at 60.7, and we do have this game going over the total just by a hair. I'm always amazed by how tight our numbers are to the totals, right? 59.5, and we got 60.7, so we'll see if it goes over, but we do have the Boomer Sooners winning here pretty big, right, by 32 points. So we'll see if they cover that big number of 27.5. East Carolina taking App State. App State a 9.5-point favorite. 48.5 is the total. We do have the Mountaineers winning this one 28-19. The over-under landing on 47.8. The Minnesota Golden Gophers taking on the Tar Heels. We got North Carolina winning 25-17. So we got them winning by 8, whereas we got them hooking them, and we got an 84% chance of winning. And Minnesota 35.7, not close enough to that 40% range. Anytime you're using the Raymond report and you're looking at the final scores here, like our computer forecast, consider this. If you're like the underdog, make sure this is over 40%, right? And going back to the rolls, remember the rolls I was telling you guys? Hey, I know this is NFL, but it's pretty much close, right? 35% of home underdogs, road underdogs. Maybe I'll do college football next week to see what it'll be much lower. Yeah, I guarantee it'll be much lower because you're not beating Ohio State and Alabama, those type teams on a consistent basis, right? Not like in the NFL. It's probably more like 15%. All right, so again, keep an eye on the percentage play. Alabama taking on South Florida. We got the Crimson Tide winning 33-17. The over-under landing on 50.94. Hey, maybe South Florida, but again, because they have a 0% chance of winning, according to the analytics. But you know what? You always got a chance. Let's be honest. You always got a chance, but maybe not this Saturday. All right, Western Michigan taking on Iowa. Hey, this could be a little bit of a letdown factor off the big interstate game rivalry against Iowa State. And we look at a low number, 12-8. Sometimes that happens in the computer picks. Hey, maybe the under is where you want to go in this one. South Carolina taking on the Bulldogs. Your defending champions, Georgia Bulldogs, 27.5. taking on the Gamecocks, and we do have the Bulldogs winning 41-14. The over-under landing on 56.7, 100% chance of winning, and 0 for the Gamecocks. All right, Duke Blue Devils taking on the Wildcats. We got Duke winning this one 32-13. The over-under landing on 45.8. So we do have this game staying under the total. And looking at some of your comments right here. Good morning, Ron and guys. Like UNC first half against Minnesota. Like Nebraska first half, says Daryl Turnell and his other brother Daryl from the New Art Show. All right, 90% chance of winning here for the Blue Devils. Hey, Duke's not just a basketball school, right? We saw that a few weeks ago. What a big win over Clemson. Hey, Duke's not just a basketball school. All right, Rutgers taking on Virginia Tech. You know what? Rutgers has been looking pretty good. 36-7. They won their first game against, what was it, UConn or something like that? Yeah, they've had breathers, right? They've had some breathers, but we'll see this week where the Hokies come to town, right? 25-14, the over-under at 40.04. Speaking of UConn, we got them winning over the Panthers here. 23-16, the over-under at 39.7. We got the Beavers beating the Aztecs, Oregon State 38. San Diego State 11, the over-under at 49.8. We got UL Monroe taking on the Aggies. Now, big loss last week for Texas A&M. How are they going to rebound off that? Well, they play UL Monroe. 43-9, the over-under at 52.9. So we have this one going under the total. Tulane taking on Southern Miss. We got the Green Wave winning as a 12.5 point favorite. 31-18, the over-under at 49.2. Western Kentucky taking on Ohio State. The Buckeyes at 28.5. You know, the Big Ten teams have not been as dominant as I thought they would be in their the cupcake games, right? The 35-7 against Youngstown State, right? That's not a blowout. But unless you're not showing anything, right? And that's the thing. You can play possum, and you can just rope a dope teams. Just don't show anything, right? Just don't show anything. 42.9 to 15.3, the over-under at 58.2. Michigan State taking on Washington. We got the Huskies beating the Spartans 37-21, the over-under at 59.5. Georgia State taking on the 49ers, not San Fran, but Charlotte. We do have Georgia State winning 32-19, the over-under at 52.1. We got UAB taking on the Ragin' Cajun, UL Lafayette. We have the Blazers winning 32-27, the over-under at 60.5. We got James Madison, who's been looking really good out of the gate, taking on the Troy Trojans. Now, Troy's a home favorite in this one. I do like James Madison. I do like the James Madison in this one. I got him 22.8, 22.6, the over-under at 45.5. What's their nickname? Is it the Bulldogs? I can't remember. Anybody, if you know the nickname of the James Madison University, please post it. I think it's Bulldogs, but I'm not sure. All right, Miami taking on the Cincinnati Bearcats. I got a big win last week in Pittsburgh. They defeated the Panthers in Pittsburgh. That was a big win. So we'll see. They lose their head coach. And man, that was a Satterfield there now. So big win last week for the Bearcats, and we got them winning as a 2-touchdown favorite in this one, 31-14, and 45.7 is the total. Tennessee against Florida. Tennessee has not won in Florida since 2003. Did the research this morning, and I don't even think Peyton Manning beat Florida. Did Peyton beat? I don't think so, right? I don't think Peyton even beat the Gators. 34-24. We'll see. I heard they had a players-only meeting after 2 games, Tennessee. You're 2-0 and you're already having a players meeting? I don't know what's up with that. All right, 34-24 is the final we have. The over-under landing on 59.1. This will be a good game. This will be probably the game of the week when I look at all the games. That'll be a great game. All right, Louisiana Tech taking on North Texas, the Mean Green. And we do have the Bulldogs winning 34-31, the over-under at 65.9. So we do have it flying under the total. Take Notre Dame spread now to bet Ohio State next week for thank me later, says Daryl Turner and his other brother Daryl. All right, Vanderbilt taking on the Rebels. UNLV. Hey, we had the cover last week. I did take UNLV against Michigan, so it was part of college football. My members picks 5-1 so far in the college football. So having a good run right now, college football, and it's part of your membership. If you buy a membership at ATS and you go to your menu, you'll have my 3 college football pick packs here this weekend. All right, 30-25, the over-under at 56.3. South Alabama taking on Oklahoma State. For some reason, it seems like everybody's on South Alabama all year so far, right? The Jaguars. 28-20 is what I have here, and I got the Cowboys winning by 8, and they're favored by 7. So buyer beware if you are betting this game. I got the total landing on 49.06. I got the Spartans taking on the Toledo Rockets. Toledo's been doing good. In fact, 71-3 win last week against Texas Southern, and I do have them winning 33-24, the over-under at 57.02. I got Nebraska beating Northern Illinois. Finally for Nebraska, a little bit of a breather here against the Huskies after playing Colorado. And who was their first game against? Minnesota. I thought they played well against Minnesota. They you got to play 60 minutes, right? I thought Nebraska deserved the better faith against the Gophers, but you got to play 60 minutes. And that was a Thursday night game, right? Those Thursday games, completely different in college football than a Saturday afternoon, right? 23-14 as I got as the final, and we'll see if Matt Rule can get win number 1 for the Cornhuskers. Ole Miss taking on Georgia Tech. I do like the Yellow Jackets this weekend, even though they're 18.5 point favorite. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll take the Geico Insurance. Give me Georgia Tech this weekend against Ole Miss. 39-21 the over-under at 60.26. Bowling Green against Michigan. I was looking at Michigan's schedule. They must have known that Harbaugh was going to get suspended because all the 4 cupcake games they had at the beginning of the year, right? 44-6, the over-under landing on 50.1. All right, what is the brawl game here? Hey, is this the brawl game? With the backyard brawl? Hey, this will be a good one. West Virginia taking on the Pitt Panthers. Practically a pick'em line, -1.5 for Mountaineers. I do have West Virginia winning by 1, 24-23, the over-under landing on 48. So we do have it going over the total. Bobby Boucher beat the Gators. I'm looking at Navy, Memphis under 47, and Saskatchewan Roughriders -3 at home after a blowout loss last week, says Scott. All right, so 52 points. Remember I said, here's the thing, right? So if you look at the forecast, we got conflicting numbers here. We got West Virginia on the analytics, but on the percentage play, we got Pitt winning at 52.6% compared to 47% for West Virginia. So you know what that means? Stay away from that game. Syracuse taking on Purdue. We have the Boilermakers, a 2.5 point home underdog. I kind of like the Boilermakers here, but I don't know if I'm going to play them this week. 27-25, the over-under at 53.5, the over-under. Yeah, so we have it going under the total. BYU taking on the Razorbacks. We do have Arkansas winning 28-20, the over-under at 49.3. Akron taking on the Kentucky, a 25-point home favorite, 49 is the total. We got the Wildcats winning 40-10, over-under at 51.7. Hawaii taking on the Ducks. Oregon, big look ahead next week against Colorado, right? So is that the look ahead game? Maybe this may be a Hawaii play right here. I don't think Oregon will show much because the one thing you do in Division I football, Division I football, is that you don't want to show too much when you're playing a juggernaut of a team like Colorado next week, right? You want to go in with confidence. You want to go in with a good win, but it's not like the 80s and 90s where you're styling for ranking points, right? 43.7 to 27.8, the over-under landing on a whooping 71.5 number right here, going over the total. I kind of like Hawaii plus 38.5. Now they're not going to win, but it's just I don't know if Oregon's going to show anything. Clemson taking on the Owls, Florida Atlantic. I got the Tigers winning 36-14. The over/under landing on 51.3. Tight number on the total. Wyoming taking on Texas. Texas, all right, here's the letdown spot, right? Is the Longhorns going to come in and poop the bed against Wyoming? I think Wyoming's the play here at 29.5. But I got the Longhorns winning 38-10. I got them winning by what here? 28? And look at the number, 29. So I think Wyoming plus the points is where you want to lean. TCU taking on Houston. I got the Horned Frogs winning 36-27. Over-under landing on 63.6. Got to fix that logo. That's the wrong logo. New Mexico State taking on New Mexico. I got the Aggies winning by a very close margin, 24.7, 24.6, the over-under at 49.3. And look at the percentage play. This is a coin flip. So get your shiny penny out and make that coin flip. Fresno State taking on Arizona State. And we do have the The Sun Devils winning 23. Actually, we got the Bulldogs winning 25-23. Big win last week. I think that game was in Purdue too, wasn't it? Wasn't that game in Purdue? 39-35. So let's see if they can go back-to-back on the road, and they are a favorite this week. I think Arizona State might be the call here. Colorado, a little bit of a breather here against Colorado State, but you know what? It's an interstate game, so you know there's going to be a little bit of hype for that one. 10 p.m. Eastern. Hey, they don't get the noon slot on Fox this weekend, against Colorado State. So yeah, we're gonna put them at 10 o'clock. We'll let the drinkers bet that one. 23.5 is the line, 60.5 is the total, and we're gonna give Colorado the win here. 41-17, the over-under landing on 59.4. And Colorado, big look ahead next week against Oregon. UTEP taking on the Wildcats. 38-21, the over-under at 59.6. Kansas taking on the Wolfpack. Nevada last week, 33-6 loss to Idaho. And we do have Kansas coming off that Thursday night win. 42-16 is the final, 59.4. And there you have it. I still have my voice intact, so we did it. Yeah, holy cow.
Holy cow!
Yeah, now all we got to do now is just show you the money.
Show me the money!
All right, there you go. There's your college football computer picks. We went through every game on the computer picks. And folks, you can get this every day. Go to the website, atsstats.com, and you go to your dashboard. Go to the dashboard, and you go to college football, and then you will get all the computer picks. And not only the computer picks, you get the RAM report. If you want the RAM report, I got 2 RAM reports, right? If you go to your dashboard, all right, let's go back into your dashboard, and you get the BMW of the reports right here. So let's say if you go to college football and you click on say Navy against Memphis, and then if you want the light version, right? This is if you go to matchup. All right, go to matchup, go to college football, and you'll see this here is the RAM report light version. And again, you get all the information all right here. So straight up. So A-type team against a B-type team, and when Memphis is playing those B-type teams, and they're playing at home. So, and I think we go back only to 2019. I only started doing this about 4 years ago, so that's why you're going to see some low volume sometimes. They're 4-0 against those B-type teams, only 1-3 against the numbers. So, and if you scroll right down here, I got a nice team trend on the midshipmen. When Navy's a road conference game and they're coming off a home win, they're 10-9 straight up, but look at that, 16-3 against the point spread. So you know what? I think Navy might be the call here tonight. All right, and again, the rain report. Let me see if I got the. Here you go. This is the full Monty right here. This is the big. This is the big one here. This is the prime rain report. Yeah, 1-9 against the point down the. How come it's only showing? Okay, yeah. So Navy on the road against A-type teams, 90% to the under. 3-7 straight up, but 6-4 to the point spread. So underdog is probably where you want to lean here today. And in the let me see, these teams played 7 times already, and Memphis is 2-5-1 and 4-3 against the number. 4-3 straight up, 2-5-1 against the number. So you know what, Navy could be the call here tonight. And again, you get all the games, all the reports for college football. Just go to atsstats.com, go to your pull down menu, and you get all the stats and trends and the report on that game, that specific game. Again, going back to the rain report, and you want to do your research on the game, right? Pick your spots, but do the research. Don't bet blind, right? One of my tips: never force a bet. Bet with your wallet, not your heart. But the thing you want to do is you want to do your research on the game. Don't ever go into the game not knowing what you're getting yourself into, right? And have resources. There's a lot of good websites out there. Good sports handicap and tip sheets out there. Get a good resource tip sheets and make it help you win, right? At the end of the day, what do you want?
I want winners.
Yeah, you want winners, and we're going to try to help you get winners. But again, go to the website, atsstats.com, go to matchup, and when you get to the matchup, you're going to get the pull-down menu, go to the game of your choice, and go pull up the game you want to handicap. Let's say if I want to go to the game between, Syracuse and Purdue, and we go, mine the rain report or light? I'm in the light version. Let me go to my rain report light. Purdue, Syracuse. All right, let's go to that game. 27-25. We talked about that in the computer picks. 3-3. Look at that. Syracuse 0-4 against B-type teams on the road, straight up and against the point spread. That's why you watch the rain report. Just remember we talked about pearls at the top of the show. Straight cash, right? Where's
Straight cash, homie.
those are the pearls. And look at that. 0-4 Syracuse against those B-type teams on the road. So this is why you watch the show. And so hopefully we can help you make money this weekend. And look at that. Anytime you get a home team during the month of September, no, it's not week 4. See, that 0 week is screwing up the database. I got to go and talk to our programmer about that. Yeah, week 0. Actually, if you go, is it 1, 2, 3? Yeah, this could be week 4 when you consider, right? It was 0, 1, 2. So it is week 4. Really, the database is looking at it as week 4. So if you count, you have to count it. Where's right here? All right, so let me go back to this one. Anytime you got a home team during the month of September, week 4 to 8, playing on a Saturday, scored 17 points or less in their last game, coming off an ATS win, and it was a win against an ACC opponent. That team is 23-5 straight up. So you know what? Purdue, money right there this weekend against Syracuse. So I think Purdue could be the play here, guys. I think Purdue plus 2.5 is where you want to go get that money. All right, let's get the stats and trends going, and we got to go to AI.
We talking about practice, not a game. We talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that?
Yeah, it's not silly at all, because we are talking about the 80% Club Stats, and you can get the 80% Club Stats with your membership for only $4.99 right here at atsstats.com. Did you know when Wyoming's a road underdog on 6 days rest and they scored 29 or 35 points for in their last game, they are 13-2 straight up against the point spread. Not straight up, but against the point spread in their next game. Take Wyoming plus the points this weekend. And folks, you can get all the 80% Club Stats courtesy of your good friends. In fact, you know what? If you go to the front page of atsstats.com right now, look for the Pitt logo, click on this, and here's your teaser. I'm going to give you 9 great stats right here, and a little bit of a write-up on each of the teams, and I'll give you some great numbers. But guess what? You got to go to the website to get it. Go to the website, atsstats.com, look for the Pitt logo, scroll down, go to the Pitt, go inside the numbers, and we will give you 9 more great stats here today. All right, what'd you think of the show? Was it a good show, bad show, medium show, great show, horrible show? Hey, did we show you the money? Or did we show the Bears what we thought they were?
The Bears are what we thought they were. what we thought they were.
Yeah, and we hopefully we helped you make some money on a college football Thursday. Big show lined up tomorrow. Gil the Thrill Melendez will be here with the double coverage report. In fact, you can get the double coverage report here at atsstats.com, or go to Gil's website, double coverage report. Click on that. You'll go to frogtownsports.com, and that's where Gil hangs his hat, and you can get the double coverage report by going to frogtownsports.com. All right, I'll be back tomorrow on Friday, and I did see somebody post asking me about the Thursday night game. If you go to our YouTube channel, I did a video on tonight's game between the Vikings and the Eagles. Go to our YouTube channel. I do have go to the front page of ATS. I do have my audio forecast right here. So Hey guys, how you doing? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report with your free Thursday night football previews and prediction for week number 2 of the NFL season. There you go, week number 2 of the NFL season. I'm Ron Raymond, and I'm signing off today for Thursday, September 14th. All right, guys, have yourself a great rest of your Thursday. I got practice tonight. Practice? Hey, where's
We talking about practice.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about tonight. I'm talking about practice. Yeah, we gotta get our show on the road here in Gatineau. All right, have yourself a great rest of your day, guys. I'll be back here on a football Friday, a friendly Friday, and Gil the Thrill will be joining us, and we'll have a good time. In the meantime, shop for value. Hey, if I'm gonna do that, I gotta show you. Hey, go back to the Raymond Report. Shop for value. Play those percentages. I'll be back shortly with another edition of the Raymond Report. Cheers. Harry Carey.
Hello again, everybody. Harry Carey from Wrigley Field on a beautiful day for baseball.
To be the man, you've got to beat the man.
Joe own the Chiefs.
Owns.
I
don't know.
Struggling.
Can we have fun? You're damn right. I demand that we have fun.
Put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only.
Straight cash, homie.
Holy cow!
It's a dog-eat-dog world, Sammy, and I'm wearing milk-bone underwear.
What the hell's going on?
bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so.
Let's go to eat a goddamn snack.